Well, good morning. It's great to have you along with us right now. Now 5:36 a.m. Back to reality for many people today on this Tuesday, January the 2nd. Of course, a very happy new year to you. As we look at the weather today, there really is not a whole lot going on, but we do have very cold air still in place. We rang in the new year with one of the coldest temperatures we've seen in a while, minus 22.6, and that cold air is still with us. We also have some squalls as well. Powerful snow coming off of Georgian Bay and Huron this morning. The winds will be switching throughout the day today. So right now we see a burst of snow across the GTA. You can see it continues to ease as we go throughout the morning, and then eastern side of Georgian Bay up towards Cottage Country, that's when we're going to see some of the most snow, the most lake effect as we look at this Tuesday. Now the cold air this afternoon, -8, feels like -17. And you know, it really is remarkable. Some of the people that started off the new year by doing something like this. Have a look at the Netherlands, jumping into the frigid cold water. Chrissy Van taking one for the team. And, you know, conditions were pretty nice in Vancouver. Still absolutely freezing cold, but at least the sunshine was out. Vancouver's actually going to be warming up as we go throughout this week. 5 for the daytime high today. Much warmer than what we're seeing. We are seeing that cold plunge still right across the east, so do expect below seasonal temperatures and becoming even colder as we go into Friday. We're going to talk about a clipper system that's coming in as we move into next week. But before we go here, just want to show you a live shot of the Gardiner as you head into the downtown this morning. Well, good morning. Back to reality for many people today. And I think the weather, the cold, it's making it a little harder to get out of bed this morning. -10 with a wind chill of -20. The winds will be strong today, and of course that kicks up lake effect snow. We are looking at lake effect snow this morning, tracking across the GTA, easing, and then the focus will be up towards Cottage Country. So we are going to get into that forecast in a second, but right now over to you with a look at trending. To the top of the list. You can check that out online today. Up next, let's talk about New Year's Eve, ringing in 2018. Happened online today. And also, let's talk about everybody's favorite season, of course, winter. Can you really hate winter? All right, time now to talk about more snow in this wintry season, of course. We are looking at snow moving into the picture for tomorrow. So this is another clipper that moves past us. Bit of lake effect snow today, and then tomorrow this system moves in, and that's going to bring widespread about 3 centimeters of snow for Toronto. This morning, the flurries that you're seeing, all courtesy of Lake Huron, the cold wind off Lake Huron. So we're just talking scattered flurries this morning. Tomorrow throughout the day, especially for that rush hour drive home, that's when we see more widespread stuff, about 3 centimeters again for Toronto. As we look here at the picture overall throughout southern Ontario, if you do have travel plans up to the north, let's say maybe you're still off with the kids this week, up through Cottage Country, about 15 centimeters. And it's going to be that powerful westerly wind off of Georgian Bay. That's really going to help to increase some of those totals. And that is going to be a pattern that we're stuck into this week. And the pattern that we've been seeing temperature-wise is, well, extreme cold. And with that, many people take the hot boiling cup of water, they throw it up into the air. It's called the Mpemba effect. And here's why that happens. Up to Cottage Country, let's say, lots of lake effect snow is in the picture, and lots of cold air as well. Very good morning to you. I'm Rachel Schoutsen. Emily Vukovic is standing by. We've got the Long Ranger coming up. Right now, I want to let you know, though, -9 feels like -18 this morning. It is a very cold start to the day today, and we have been seeing lake effect snow this morning. Yesterday, the lake effect snow was awful, created whiteout conditions on the 400 in between Barrie and Wabashine, multiple vehicles colliding, multiple pileups. It really was a terrible story yesterday, and today that wind off Georgian Bay will continue to put snow down Barrie up towards Parry Sound and east. As we look ahead at this evening, -12 feels like -21, and then as we get through tomorrow, well, we do have a clipper coming in, and this is bringing in a widespread about 3 centimeters of snow across southern Ontario. Now, when we talk about this cold, do we have any chance of even hitting the 0-degree mark? Emily, over to you. It's 6:06 a.m. on this Tuesday morning, January the 2nd today. A couple things I want to talk about weather-wise this morning. Windy and cold, so please dress appropriately. It's another Arctic blast for us here across southern Ontario. A clipper to bring snow on Wednesday. We'll tell you just how much is on the way, and also it gets even colder as we end off the week. Right now, -10 with the wind chill. It feels like it's -20, and those winds are strong. Right now, we're seeing them sustained to about 30 kilometers an hour. Now let's take a look at some of our top stories online today. Even if it's snow squalls, right, Kelly? Thanks for that one. I want to show you some of these squalls this morning. We're seeing them off of Huron, off of Georgian Bay as well. They're really easing, especially for us here in the GTA. But if your travel plans do take you up the 400 this afternoon, know that that lake effect snow will be staying Barrie and up to the north, especially through to Parry Sound. This is going to be the focus today with more of that westerly flow. So we'll lose the snow as we go late morning into the afternoon, but to the north of us, that zone there, and we know this stretch of the 400 yesterday was a nightmare with many people getting involved in car accidents yesterday, multiple pileups along that stretch. This afternoon, -8 in Toronto, -8 for Newmarket. Hamilton as well. It's going to be a cool one for us today. Now, I want to show you this video. A lot of the time when we get the cold air in place in the GTA, across the prairies, do it all the time. They send these videos into the Weather Network. But within the GTA, temperatures really have to be in between about -20, -30 to get that really cool effect, the Mpemba effect. And we're going to talk about that throughout the show. I want to show you the system that comes in that will be making some snow for us as we look ahead at Wednesday. This is generally going to be bringing us about 3 centimeters of snow. We're not talking a lot with this, but it is coming in time for that rush hour drive home tomorrow afternoon and evening. So that's where things could really grease up the roads, could be quite slow tomorrow. -8 again in Toronto, -11 in Barrie. I do want to take you out onto our roads this morning and have a live look at the GTA. Well, it was a very cold start to a new year. Happy 2018. I hope you were warm as you rang in the new year, because we did see record low temperatures in Toronto. We got down to -22.6. It reached -30 degrees in Kingston. These are record-breaking cold temperatures, -26 in Kitchener. Now, as we look at this morning, not quite as cold, but still bundle up. Turn the heat on in the car. Absolutely, you need it. -9 feels like -18 in Toronto this morning. Now, speaking of some records, over 2017, 11 countries saw their hottest year on record. I want you to have a look at this story right now. When we talk about record warm there, the cold for us is still a big story. Arctic air moving in continuously, another shot of it by the time we get to the end of this week. You can see it here in your local forecast, and we're going to talk about that throughout the show. Plus, snow moving in again tomorrow. Shoreline, pretty rough out there with snow moving in, and we do have snow this morning within the lower Great Lakes. We're also seeing some CFX snow off into Atlantic Canada as well. We got snowfall warnings for Newfoundland too.
Take a look at these snow squalls. Easterly flow across the north, westerly flow across the south. Special weather statements that have been issued for the Maritimes. Nor'easter moving in. This is going to be bringing in all different types of precipitation.
And we're going to be chatting about this coming up throughout the show. This is what you need to know if you live in Atlantic Canada. But Kelly, right now, let's talk about the polar bear dip. Many people, they start off the new year by jumping into some very cold water. Have a look. It's 6:46 a.m. and it's a cold start to the day today. Look at this, -10 feels like -20. Those winds, 35 kilometers an hour. We could be seeing gusts this afternoon to about 50 and 60. So a cold and windy day upon us. I want to take a look right now at what's trending online today. Embrace what winter has to offer. Oh, we say it every year, don't we? Have you been embracing it? It was cold and snowy over the Christmas break, that's for sure. And now, getting back to reality for many people today, a very cold start and cold into the afternoon. -7 in Barrie, -8 in Toronto. And of course, yesterday, travel along the 400 was just awful, especially between Barrie and Wabashine. Multiple vehicles piled up on the 400, and we're going to see snow yet again today. Now, as we move through today, the snow really shifts to the north. It really is east of Georgian Bay. That's where we'll see that lake effect snow. As we get into tomorrow, another system is coming by, and that is going to be bringing us some snow as we look ahead at Wednesday afternoon into the evening. So for that commute home, about 3 centimeters of snow on the way. I know, not a lot, but more to add to that snowbank at the end of the street and, of course, on the sides of your driveway as well. Now, of course, when temperatures are this cold, a lot of the time on the Weather Network, we show you that video of someone taking a cup of boiling hot water and throwing it into the air. The fact that warm water actually freezes faster than cold, that's called the Mpemba effect. Have a look at the science behind it right here. Well, good morning. It is 7:06 a.m. and you are watching the Weather Network. Rachel Schoutsen, Emily Vukovic here with you. And Emily, for many people, it's back to reality today.
Oh, it sure
and
is.
it is just so cold out there.
Feeling we're like the minus teens throughout much of the GTA. We're going to get to more of your forecast details in just a few moments. But first, let's take a look at what's trending online.
Oh, embrace what it has to offer, even when it comes to snow squalls, too, because that's what we're seeing this morning. It really was a bit more impactful, I would say, at about 2, 3 a.m. this morning. That snow was across the GTA, so you may be waking up this morning, your driveway does have a fresh layer of snow on it, but now that's really easing as the winds are shifting.
Which is good news because the roads were really slick at that time. So now that we've had more traffic, more salt trucks have been out, things are improving. Now temperatures, well, they're going to stay cold this week. We're going to see that lake-enhanced snow throughout the day tomorrow as well. -8, feeling more like the -teens when you factor in that wind.
And we are looking at more snow coming into the picture for tomorrow as well. This is a clipper system that's coming by. We're only talking about 3 centimeters of snow with this, not a whole lot, but it's enough for the rush hour drive home tomorrow to make things probably a little bit slower, a little bit slicker as well. And Emily, as you mentioned, the cold air not going anywhere.
No, let's stick around. We're looking at -8 for Wednesday afternoon with that light snow, and then the snowfall forecast. It looks as though we're going to be seeing more snow up towards cottage country, so shores of Huron, Georgian Bay could certainly be picking up more accumulations. But yes, as Rachel was mentioning, we're about 3 centimeters, enough to make the road slick though.
All right, I want to take a look at traffic this morning. This here is your live look at the 427 OK this morning. Emily, I think it's just for tomorrow afternoon with a lot more volume back on the roads. I'm thinking that's where things could start getting a little bit slower.
And you know what? Because of the lack of volume for this morning, I think it's also because kids aren't back to school yet. So you have to think of it that way. A lot of parents are still on vacation. Now, coming up, 11 countries that broke heat records, Rachel.
In 2017. We're going to be taking a look at that story when we return just after this.
Hey there, good morning. It is another cold start to the day, and we're kickstarting 2018. Rachel Schoutsen, Kelly Sonnenberg.
Oh, did you have a good New Year's, Kelly?
I did. It was good, and you know, I'm looking forward to the year ahead. I think there's going to be some good stuff.
Absolutely. Now, were you warm when you rang in the new year?
I was, because I ended up staying indoors in my condo to actually watch fireworks at Nathan Phillips Square.
Oh, how about you? You know what? We actually did our own fireworks outdoors, and it was freezing down to -22 in Toronto. And we're going to get into your cold forecast in a second, but right now, here is what is trending today. And we are going to see a lot more of that as we go into this week. With a strong westerly wind, it looks like Barrie into the north up to Parry Sound. This is a zone that is real prime for lake effect.
We've got the snow squall watches, warnings, weather advisories in effect as well. You can see those snow squalls developing off of Georgian Bay, Lake Superior as well. Newfoundland could be seeing some snow squalls. No thunderstorms in the forecast, though. Let's take a look back at 2017 and the most amazing videos of lightning.
Tuesday, January the 2nd, 2018. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Weather Network. Emily and Rachel joining you. I don't know about you, Rachel, but 18, that's going to be hard for me to remember, I think.
Yeah, and writing it on everything. All your documents at work today, when the kids go back to school to write 2018, got to remember. And it's hard to turn a 7 into an 8.
It's going to be like a 7, and then you're going to have to put the circle at the top.
It's going to be tough. Now, it was a very cold start to 2018, and we're also talking about lake effect snow as well. With more of a westerly flow, we're going to see these bands of lake effect snow really start to fire up on the east side of Georgian Bay. We've seen a little bit within the GTA, though.
Yeah, not much. I mean, we've seen enough to make roads really slick this morning, so just take it easy. Give yourself a little bit of extra travel time. But yeah, you're right. Because the winds are shifting, those bands are going to be shifting off. Now, this is not the end of our snow or cold for the week. We've got more snow on the way for tomorrow, and our temperatures are absolutely frigid. Feeling more like -17 when you factor in the wind.
And it's going to be windy. We could be looking at gusts upwards about 60 kilometers an hour this afternoon. Now, Emily, could you ever do this to start off the new year? Jump into a cold lake?
It was threatened. It really was. But
oh my goodness.
The Oakville one was actually canceled, not due to the cold, but due to the fact that there was a lot of ice on the beach, so it would be harmful to people's little toes.
And, yeah, and Chrissy Van, well, she did this in Vancouver. You got to have a look at this story.
Vancouver is home to one of the oldest and largest polar bear swims, so naturally I had to take part. People are excited, but the reality is you can't know unless you go. Well, should we all do it together? Yes. All right, we're gonna do it all together. Ready? Ready? Happy New Year! It's not warm! Just in case anyone was wondering.
It's probably the best one yet, honestly. The weather's great. It's cold. I got no other quote.
Woo! It's a bit brisk.
survived to tell the tale of my very first polar bear swim. It was freezing.
It is an ice cream cone. Okay, we were wondering what was on her little cap. It's totally an ice cream cone.
An ice cream cone shower cap.
But you know what? It was 4 degrees in Vancouver when she did this. So it's not like she was here in Ontario where it's been frigid to do something like this.
It would have been a much different story, a much colder story, that's for sure. Now, we do have more snow moving in tomorrow. Just want to let you know about 3 centimeters for the GTA, but it does come in throughout the afternoon drive. So that's where things get a little bit slower.
All right, coming up, you don't want to miss it. We've got trending for you, the hottest stories online. It includes the best moments of Twitter of 2007.
Well, it's great to see you this morning. Happy New Year right now, 7:46 a.m. You're watching the Weather Network, and it's a cold start to the day today. For many people, it is back to work today. Minus 11. Feels like minus 20 with that wind chill. The wind's gusting close to 40 kilometers an hour, and as we go throughout the afternoon, we could see them gust close to even 50 and 60. A windy, a cold day, and with some lake effect snow. We've seen a little bit of snow within the GTA this morning, but going into the afternoon, it really will be berry into the north as that westerly wind sets up. We're going to chat about the cold air and more snow on the way, but first, here's what's trending today. You may be hating today. Today is going to be a cold one. Minus 7 in Barrie, minus 8 in Toronto. And with that blowing snow this morning, it has made the roads a little slick out there. I do want to show you this live shot here of the 401. This is as you're traveling through Weston. So do keep that in mind before you jump out on the roads today. Now, when we look at another round of snow, we do have another one in the forecast, and that comes for tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon and into the evening hours. As this swings by, we're talking about 3 centimeters of snow for Toronto. Now, with the cold air in place, we've seen lots of amazing videos online, cold air bubbles and also the Mpemba effect. Have you heard of this? Throwing a hot cup of water into the air to make snow? Have a look. And as the cold air sticks with us, coming up next in the Long Ranger, we'll talk about when temperatures could hit the freezing mark. Well, I hope you're ready for a cold start to the day today. Rachel Schoutsen and Emily Vukovic with you. And Emily, it's not just the cold today, but it's the winds that will be whipping up. We could see some gusts today close to 50 kilometers an hour.
Yeah, it's going to be cold. We've got more snow on the way for tomorrow, but not as much as you would like to think. A couple of centimeters, and it's getting even colder by the end of the week.
Yeah, if you didn't think it was possible, it certainly is. And we're going to show you some of those numbers in a second. But right now, here's what's trending today. Yeah, embracing winter. And look, embracing this, the extreme cold warning by Environment Canada. That's who issues these. Now, Toronto is not officially in it because minus 8 technically doesn't qualify for extreme cold, but we're still going to be cold today.
Like, we're talking wind chills in those areas, you know, minus 35, minus 45. That's what it's going to feel like. So we're not quite there, even though you might step outside and be like, liars, it feels like minus 30 out here. We do have snow squall watches and warnings in place. We do have a weather advisory. Cottage country certainly going to be seeing more significant snow, not only with these lake effect bands, but what's coming in throughout the day tomorrow as well.
So we did see a brief burst of snow throughout the morning across the GTA. That really helped to slicken up the roads. But now you can really see that fizzling out. What we're going to be watching for into the afternoon is more of that westerly flow and the snow that will develop again on the 400. And Emily, yesterday on the 400, it was a terrible day.
Yeah, my niece was actually on the 400 traveling back towards the GTA, and she said that she was stuck in traffic for just hours. It took her forever to get anywhere because of these squalls. And this setup could certainly happen again, not only today, but tomorrow as well, with that new snow coming through.
So tomorrow's system, it's this clipper that's going to track by. Only about 3 centimeters of snow. We're not talking about a whole lot with this, but timing again for that rush hour commute home. And because we have so much snow on the ground already, with these really windy conditions, blowing snow is also going to be a concern too. So it's another cold day again tomorrow.
Yeah, minus 8 for this afternoon, feeling more like minus 17 when you factor in that wind. By tomorrow, we're also looking at minus 8, again feeling closer to minus 20. And if you think these temperatures are bad, well, by the end of the week, Rachel, we could actually be experiencing our coldest temperatures yet. I was going to say this year, but that doesn't really qualify. This season, we're going to be feeling the cold.
It is crazy. Friday night into Saturday morning, we're talking getting down to about minus 26. Minus 26. So this is the system that's coming in for tomorrow. The rush hour drive home is set to be impacted by this one.
All right, coming up, we have got the story for you. This is 11 countries that broke heat records in 2017.